Okay, here I am first thing in the morning. I'm getting ready to work on my garden, do a little fertilization with some AgroThrive right now. Gonna go ahead and work on my irrigation after that. But before I do all that, I'm gonna give a little garden tour. So here we go. Okay, a little bit about the garden over here. I just planted my spring crop. Not 100%, but I'm about 90% planted. And I'll give a little tour and let you know how I set it up, starting with the trellises. My walkway has an arch, a trellis, for each bed. So there's 12 beds, but really 6 rows. I went ahead and made some supports at a catapaddle for all my low-lining plants, which in this case, these are eggplants. Each one of my trellises, of course, the idea of it is to have plants grown up it. For my tomato plants over here, I went ahead and chose flat panel. That way I could train my tomato plants and tie them up, and it's real tall, it goes up way over my head. I could get in between them and trim the inside of the tomato plants, and there's 2 rows. So basically it's up over my head, and I feel it's easier to get behind it and in front of it to pick your tomatoes, to trim your tomatoes, to tie them up. When you use the enclosures, it's hard to get in there to see anything, to pick anything, or to trim anything. So I think this is the way to go. At least it works for me. I went ahead and put supports on top of my tomato beds, which hold a 30% shade cloth, which is in a different video. Okay, so let me continue. As you can see, I put down mulch all over the gardens, and then when I plant it in the beds, there's compost, and over the compost is composted chips. And then when I plant it, I put down fresh mulch, some chips, fresh chips around each of the plants. And the reason why I do that is to stop splash. So basically when your tomatoes are growing and water comes down, you don't have the compost splashing on the leaves, which could cause fungus. All plants have labels. I went ahead and sowed those seeds in ground, and all of these plants here, they all have labels. The labels are in the mulch. I went ahead and used graphite pencils on the labels. That way nothing fades off and I know what my plants are. All the tomato plants are looking nice and healthy. They're nice and wet in the morning. You can see the water dripping off. So they're getting plenty of water. Plenty of moisture, natural water. Plenty of moisture. Over here I have vine plants. I have to plant a few more. They're going to grow up the trellis. Right now I got shade cloth on the trellis. The shade cloth is put in shade in the afternoon on my row crops over here. And they're liking it. They're thriving. Once the vine items grow, that would give natural shade, and I'll take that off. Once again, I got plants in ground, and I got some that I sowed. My spinach is making a good comeback from this winter. Everything seems to be doing well. I sowed some more vines there. I got some coming up. I got open spaces for more. So there's a little bit of a garden tour. I'm going to continue around the perimeter right now. Everything is gated. Everything is gated with wide gates so I could get my tractor through the gates. And I could get my tractors down the aisles. Those are the hugelkultur beds. These are the gates, or the runways that I drive on. I have grapevines that go all around the garden up on top. Eventually, it's going to look nice. It'll be a nice vineyard. These are my potted plants, which are going to grow up these strings and to the top cable. They all seem to be doing really good. I'm working on my irrigation right now. I had to dig this up. I'm going to tap into that and come up here and run it to my irrigation, so each one of these pots on the outside all around the garden is going to have drip irrigation coming to them here shortly. Once again, everything is labeled so I know what they are. Everything seems to be doing good. This is the outside, and once again, here you go. I've got my grapevines, which are growing above. I got nothing down the back row over here, but this is where my watermelons are getting planted next week. I'm going down this side. All these culvert pots are planted right now. Some I just sowed the seeds in there, and some I planted seedlings that I propagated in the house. And I also put some trees over here that I have to plant, that way they could get irrigated. Those are Lumquat Japanese plums. I got 3 different varieties. Okay, let me turn this around. Okay, so basically over here on this stretch, besides having my pots out there, which are culvert pipes that I cut and I planted in it, which are going to go around the backside too, I just haven't gotten to it yet. These are my grapevines over here, which go all around the garden as well. I'm training them to come up and go 2 rows of grapevines. Everything takes time, it'll be a while. But these rows right here, turn this around. Okay, I'm gonna come in here today, and all along here, even though you see wood chips and mulch that's composted, if I put my hands down you would see, I'm going to plant the watermelons in there. This is the drip line for it, and each watermelon's going to have its own irrigation drip. But I'm going to come in here today and put some more mulch in there like I did over here. I'm going to continue it all the way out. That's what those mulch piles were that you seen in the other video I just posted. So anyway, let me walk you through. These are my grapevines right here, muscadines. The watermelon patch I'm showing now, it's going to come up all the way over here. That's 90 feet. And then from here, it's going to go around. You can see the drip irrigation. And it's go all the way down 150 feet. So all this is going to be watermelons over here. Melons, watermelons, cantaloupes, stuff like that. So that's going to go all the way down to that section over there. Once again, this is going to be all watermelon. I plant the vines there. They're going to grow both ways. Once again, my irrigation comes down to all of the muscadines that I have. And these are my hugelkultur beds. This is a hugelkultur bed. This is a wide runway for my tractor. This is a hugelkultur bed. I still have to layer it up about 2 more feet. It's sinking down now because everything's getting down on the inside. This here is a runway for the tractor. There's another hugelkultur bed I'm working on, logs in the ground. This is a runway for the tractor. This is a hugelkultur bed, and this is a runway for the tractor. You can see I dug it all up. I'm working on the irrigation right now. This is a hugelkultur bed, and then this is for the tractor over here. So basically, this area here is like 3 times bigger than my regular garden. Got power out here and drip irrigation. Okay, so there you have it. That's my little garden tour this morning. I'm working on my hugelkultur beds whenever I have time to do so. Been working on it almost a year now. This will be done and ready to plant next year. It's a long process, a lot of digging, a lot of logs, a lot of mulch, a lot of compost, a lot of fertilizer that I get in, horse manure, sheep manure. Going to be using comfrey, going to be using Mexican sunflowers and stuff like that. And then the garden in back of me over here, which I just planted for spring. Still got a little ways to go. So anyway, I just wanted to give a little update, do a little tour, and there you have it. This is my spring garden. Still got more to plant. Most of the plants are inside, some of them are on the porch. They'll be planted. My watermelons will be planted next week, and some other plants will be sown and planted in about another week or 2 as well. Everything takes time, a lot of work going on. Okay. I just went ahead and got done doing my tour, moved the mulch over there. I thought I'd take a minute and say it wasn't too long ago that all these plants that you see here throughout the tour look like these Baker Creek packages. And they all started out looking just like that. Oops. They all started out looking like that little speck on my hand there. It's amazing what that little seed will do. So pretty soon, all my tomatoes, like my Hungarian heart and my black cherry and my great white and my pineapple and green giant and all the other varieties that are rare, are going to start looking like this and like this. Started from that little seed, and now they're looking so healthy. I can't wait till they get up to this and I can start training them. And within a few months, I'm gonna go ahead and start picking them, slicing them, tasting them, doing taste tests and everything else. And one thing about the garden, hopefully be able to see this, I don't mind weeds, because with the mulch, all you do is you take your fingers like this and you pull, and you get the whole root and everything out. Because any weeds that grow get blown in or carried in from the birds, and they growing on top. So when you pull them, they just come out by hand. That's why I love this mulch for weed control. I love it for moisture control. I love the fact that when water bounces onto the plant, it's bouncing off of wood, and it drastically reduces your chance of getting a mold or something like that onto your plant. So anyway, I just brought out this one. I got a couple cases of them just to do this little ending to my tour. Hope you enjoy it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my little tour. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.